Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, I'm Sayrat Alhamdulillah. In here I would like to present my mini result with the title is an analysis on student interest in reading at the third semester student of English Education Study Program Universitas Kamarudin. Okay, next we are going to talk about abstract. This type of the research is qualitative research as it is designed with questionnaire as the instrument to collect data source through Google Form. The objective of the study is to describe the student interest in reading, and the subject of the research is the third semester student of English Education Study Program Universitas Kamarudin Gresik. And there were 18 students who completed the questionnaire. Okay, next, we're talking about a table of content. Number 1, introduction. Number 2, content. Number 3, finding and discussion. And the last is conclusion. Again, as we are going to background of the study in introduction. Reading is one of a language skill. It is defined as a cognitive process that involves decoding a symbol to arrive at meaning or with a purpose. The purpose of reading is to obtain usable information that can be utilized later for many kinds. The aim like obtaining general truth, getting specific information of reading content, or understanding in depth the reading content according to Mikulikli and Jeffries 1996. This also is supported by Wallace 20 and 7 cite in Shahruni 20 and 19. High achieving students are generally good readers, and poor achievers are generally poor readers. An approach toward improving school achievement must focus in a substantial part on increased reading comprehension. In classroom, the student needs interest to keep up their spirit in studying interests. As Muhibin studying reading, as Muhibin state interests affect the quality of the student learning achievement in many parts of certain study, especially in reading. Okay, next we are talking about the research question and the objective of the research. The research question of this research is how are the students interested in reading, and the objective of the research is to analyze the student interest in reading or to describe the student interest in reading. Okay, next we are talking about the method or research methodology. This research was conducted using a qualitative approach. This approach is carried out on the descriptive analysis method. The researchers used questionnaire to get the data. The data taken in the study were 18 students of the third semester student of English Education Study Program Universitas Kamarudin. Okay, next we are going to analyze of questionnaire. The author distribute questionnaires via Google Form on 11 until 14 December 2020, and the question were in English and 16 questionnaire, 16 questions. And we are going to finding next. The number 1 of the question, what is your hobby? Of the 18 students who had filled the questionnaire, only one who has a hobby of reading. All of them choose other hobby, and some choose reading alongside other hobbies. And the number two of the question: do you like reading? The table talking about the reading interest of the study. The table showed that most students were interested in reading. The data represented 88% of the student like reading. Only 11% did not like reading. But when the but when compared it with the data from the first question, it showed that students do not really like reading. And the number three of the question: how often do you read? The data above explains that more than half of the students did not make reading a routine activity. The percentage was 72% answered sometimes they would do reading. Only 2 students answered always. And the next question, the number four of the question: how many hours do you spend in a day for reading? The data also showed that 11 students who made the schedule for reading between 1 until 2 hours, and only 2 students who made schedule to read more 4 hours, and then 1 hour student spend 3 until 4 hours. And the number 5 of the question: what is your main reason in reading? The table above identifies that 27% of the students preferred reading due to assignment. The next reason who had reading as hobby got 22%. Meanwhile, 30% preferred reading to spend the spare time, and 11% to seek pleasure and to get knowledge. Only 5%. And next, number 6 question: what kind of books do you often read? The results show that the student interest in reading lesson books had no hike. Data proved to be one list was online novel and short story as their favorite book, with a half of students who had failed questionnaire. The next list, a novel as student favorite book with 33%, newspaper and encyclopedia with 27% and 22%, and other content described in table with less 20%. And the number 7 question: uh, in your spare time, especially when your lecture do not come, what do you like to do? The most practice, the most practice, the most practiced activity were watching movie, teacher got 22%, and doing assignment also got 22%. The next practice activity were playing games and reading book got 11%, and if sum up percentage both of doing assignment and reading book, only 33%. And the next number 8 of the question: what source do you use often in doing the test from lecture? More than half of the students, 66%, mainly use instant article on the internet as a source for completing assignments. Despite this, 16% some still use an ebook and textbook as a reference. And number 9 of the question, what book do you prefer to read? The table shows that even if they were English students, most students still like to read Indonesian books. Got 65% instead of only what 22% English book and 5% choose English and Indonesian book. And next number 10 of the question, what is your reaction when you later give the task to read textbook or journal? Your result showed when the lecturer assigned the reading tasks, almost all the students were happy. The data accounted for 77%. The number of dissatisfied and very happy were also 11%. And the number 11 question, how usually do you get the book? The data showed that half of the students, 70% bought the books, and 22% of the study preferred to download the book. And 16% of the students prefer to borrow books, and 5% choose to borrow and download book. Okay, we are going to the number 12 of the question. Do you read the learning materials before you came to class? The data showed there was 3 students choose to always read the material before attend class. Only 1 student choose the never, rarely, and often also. Most of them choose sometimes to read. Got 66%. And the number 13 of the question, when exactly do you spend your time for reading? The table above showed the top of the reason students would reading when they felt bored. When they felt bored, got 61%, and the next reason was they had a spare time, and for to be routine time and want to do reading, only 1 student choose. And the number 14 of the question, do you think reading a lot can improve your achievement? The only answer of the student was agreed. All of the student agreed that reading interest could improve their achievement. And the number 15 of the question, what is your score for academic reading subject? The data showed that more than half of the students have very good grades in reading subject, and 38% students got B, and for 1 who got a C, and no one got D. And now the last of the question, according to your opinion, how to increase the increase of college student to read? Some solutions from students are motivating, had a high reading interest, a new benefit of reading, a start to reading, change the mindset of reading, and add more genre books in library. Okay, guys, we are going to discussion. From the finding above, it can be taken into big line that all students agreed and note the benefit of reading, but they were not provoked by reading habits. Moreover, the answered sometimes would read, and if they had time to spare time, or they had an assignment. In addition, they preferred to read online novel and short story than journals they absolutely no one liked. And we are going to the next and the last chapter. The conclusion. And the conclusion. In this study, they were found that reading interest of the student majored in English was low because from the data above, only one student chose reading as hobby. All of the students, 100%, know that reading was imperative and had a various of benefits, but they were not proved by reading habits. They gave the solution to increase the reading interest as follow. mm, the reading achievement as follow had a high reading interest, knew the benefit of the reading, started to reading, change the mindset of reading, allocated special time for reading, give interest topic for assignment reading, add more generous book in the library, and etc. Okay, enough for forum by me. So sorry for I have a mistake. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.